the days when we try to focus on our work or a to-do list, but our mind is in million other places. This has happened to me often, and today I'm going to share with you 5 tips that you can use to stay focused when you are struggling and to get back on track. But before we do that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now is the perfect time to do so. And make sure to click on the notification button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. So let's get started. Tip number 1 is to make a list. Now, I have noticed that my focus reduces when I have a lot of work on my plate, when I'm thinking about a lot of things, and when I'm overwhelmed. Between my LinkedIn learning courses, the video, the podcast, the EVOW initiative that I run, I have a lot of tasks on my list. And it is when I have all these tasks on my list and I do not have clarity in my mind that I start feeling overwhelmed and I cannot focus. So what happens for me is when I'm working on a task, my mind wavers to the other tasks that I have to do. So to improve focus, I have now started creating a list of things that I need to do before I start working on a particular task. Now, what that does is when I create this list, I also identify completion dates for each of these tasks, and then I prioritize which task I'm going to pick up on that particular day. This really helps me focus on the task at hand as opposed to focusing on 20 other things that I have to do, because I know that I've captured them all. There's a timeline that's associated with everything. And now I know that I've picked the right task that I need to focus on. Now, the second tip that I have for you is to block your time. Once you've created the list and identified the task that you're going to prioritize for the day, the next step is to block your time on your calendar. Now, when you block time on your calendar, you actually create that space for yourself to be able to focus on that task. It's a commitment that you make to yourself to be able to finish that task and give it that undivided attention. Now, I have also seen that when I don't block my time on my calendar, then ad hoc tasks take priority, and that's not what I want to happen. So when I block the time for the particular event or task that I'm going to do, I give it the undivided attention that it needs. There are times when I also mark myself out of office so that my team members and my co-workers know that I'm not available during that time period because I'm focusing on something else. Sometimes when you just mark yourself busy, people still start pinging you or sending you emails, assuming that you can multitask and you can respond. And that's really not what I want most of the times, because I'm working on creative stuff like writing a podcast or writing an article or writing a course. So that's why blocking that time becomes so important. Also, most of the times, the biggest hurdle for me is the actual act of getting started. And really what I want to do is to set the time block for the task that's not more than 25 minutes. When you set short time blocks, you're mentally preparing yourself to get started soon, because you know that you only have those 25 minutes to finish that task. So that way I get started quickly. I also notice that when I get started quickly, I continue to work on the task even after that allocated time of 25 minutes is done, because my creative juices have then started flowing and I'm on a good path to complete the task. The third tip that I have for you is to keep the phone away. Now, once you have made your list, you have identified which task you're going to focus on and have blocked your time on your calendar, the next step is to keep the phone away. That's because I noticed that when I have to work on a creative task, I need complete focus, and phone is a major distraction for me. When I try to focus, I often get tempted when the phone is around me. So I put the phone away, sometimes in a different room altogether, or if it's in the same room, I put it on the airplane mode so that I don't get distracted by different messages that are coming in, the WhatsApp notifications, the phone calls, and I can truly, really focus on the work that I want to do and give it that undivided attention. The fourth tip that I have for you is to turn off notifications on your computer. Now, most of the work that I need to do is on my computer. But on my computer, I also have a lot of applications that I use to stay connected with my audience. And at my work, like Slack, like Outlook, WhatsApp, and Teams. So when I'm really trying to focus and complete the task at hand, what I try to do is I try to turn off all the applications that I'm not using. And I also turn off all the notifications so that I don't get disturbed and others don't try to reach out to me when I'm really focusing on completing a task at hand or to meet a deadline. Now, in my case, many times if I'm online on applications like Microsoft Teams, my coworkers or team members think that I'm still available, I can multitask, and they ping me, and I start responding to those pings then. And before I know, my focus is completely lost and the task at hand is still unfinished. So I turn off the notifications, I close all the apps that I'm not going to use. Many times I even close my Outlook for that period of time when I'm really trying to focus. Now, another thing that I do during this time is if I'm not going to use internet for the work that I'm going to do, I turn off my internet. I go offline on my computer. And what it does is it reduces that temptation to go browse the internet quickly or to check my LinkedIn or to check my Facebook or WhatsApp messages that I've configured on my computer, and it gives me that undivided attention that I need. Now, this often happens to me when I'm actually working on something creative, when there is a temporary creative block that I encounter, and then the temptation is, okay, let me browse internet for 5 minutes to get fresh, to get that sprout of energy that I need, but it really doesn't help. So going offline is my strategy to move forward. Now, the fifth tip is the most important tip, I think, and that is to be kind to yourself. Now, after trying all these things that I've mentioned above, sometimes I've noticed that I'm just not able to focus. This is because my creative mind is not working sometimes, or I'm dealing with a writer's block, or my brain has been occupied in a lot of operational tasks that I've been working on, and the creative mind is just not kicking in. And when that happens, I have to remember to be kind to myself. During this time, I practice deep breathing exercise. There's also a 5-4-3-2-1 de-stressing method that I'll be sharing with you pretty soon, that I use to de-stress myself, to calm myself down, calm my anxiety down so that I can get back and start focusing on the task at hand. So those are my 5 tips on how to focus. Let me know which of these tips resonate with you. I would love to hear your experiences and how you focus when you're really struggling with completing your tasks at hand. Please mention those in the comments. I promise I'll read all the comments and I'll respond to them. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for loving, liking, supporting, and sharing my videos. I look forward to seeing you again in our next video. Till then, keep succeeding. Bye for now.